food wherever you can, but you can't plow the land, can you? You can't do anything until you've mastered the forests and the weeds. And you can't do that without metal.
I just still can't get over this ancient super predator shrimp with these eyes. Insect-like eyes that belong to this giant prawn thing that is as big as a human. It's pretty crazy. And that UFO outside of Mercury. I don't know how we're going to top that. What else we got here? Muppet film exposes Miss Piggy as a commie pig, says business analyst. What else we got? Here's a good one. This is from the Telegraph. Sunday, the 11th of December. Which is tomorrow. So this is Before It Happens news. Off of Before It's News. Teenager dies jumping into piranha-infested river. A teenage boy was eaten alive by piranhas after leaping into a river infested with a flesh-eating fish in northeastern Bolivia, authorities have said. The 18-year-old man was drunk when he jumped out of a canoe in the Bolivian town of Rosario de Yata, 400 miles north of the capital La Paz. I know where that is. Police official Daniel Kayaya said. The man bled to death after the attack, which occurred last Thursday, Mr. Kayaya said. First word of the incident emerged on Tuesday when it was reported to the local radio station. Police suspect that the man had committed suicide because he was a fisherman in the region who knew the Yata River well. Despite their fearsome reputation, fatal attacks by piranhas on humans are rare. And breaking it down here on the Not So Late Show, before we shut her down, I better see what songs we're playing the whole night. The last song you heard was Deadly Nightshade by Megadeth. And then big up, we had the reggae break. We had Sizzla, Smoke Marijuana, Richie Spice, Wrap Up a Draw, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner by Black Uhuru. And we forgot the last one there, which was Spongy Reggae, which I never wrote it down. Scratching Post, Fade Away. We got a whole lot of Rosé by Guns N' Roses coming at you at the Pacific Coliseum December 17th there. I'll be right up at the rail end doing the show at the same time because I got a time machine.
There's my job.
In the future, Globicide products will be assembled by robots, eliminating the need for moronic human workers.
Super.
Lights? Nah, I've changed that. Illuminate. Illuminate. Ooh, isn't that nicer?
It was 10,000 ninjas, and they were deciding or trying to figure out, should we just go and kill them all and get rid of the planet's evil in one fell swoop or a quick one and save the lives of hundreds of millions of people?
Wish I knew. Pass codes, reach into secret underground kingdoms, complete access to the industrial data grid interface. Now I don't even know what that shit means.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
But Doctor, haven't you forgotten something?
Me?
What about the bridge and the time dams?
Bridge and time. K9?
Piece of cake, Mashup, blow them up.
Oh, isn't that rather crude?
Well, it's a bit crude, but immensely satisfying.
I bet those mindless pod people who believe in that thing still wait up for the tooth fairy.
Why shouldn't they?
Because he's rotting in a Turkish jail. Will you hurry up with those disguises? For those mindless pod people are my family.
Okay, Mr. Duckman, but may I say I don't think you should just dismiss the notions of miracles.
It's a miracle every time a new leaf grows, every time a newborn baby cries.
Every time you shut up and do what I tell you.
Sometimes I don't think you're quite right in the head.
Yeah, we're almost finished. We only got about 5 minutes left on the Not So Late Show here. So breaking it down there, that was 3 Days of Darkness in 2012 by Testament and Deadly Nightshade by Megadeth. Before that, coming up, I don't know, maybe something good or maybe something awesome.
5 minutes.
The anti-blast doors will hold another anti-blast. Do you carry blasting powder aboard this mine?
Half a dozen Z9 electron packs, that's
What,
all.
in here?
Up there in the locker. Where are you going, Doctor?
The robot mortuary. This.
They're moving into systems where robots work on the robots.
People have had 1,000 years to rid yourselves of this evil, and now all you've got are 3 hours.
It's like watching a train wreck. I saw the train coming, saw the truck come to the tracks, I saw the truck hit the truck. Now I'm watching the train derail. Just like the people at that island with the globalist killer, cowering and hoping he wouldn't kill them. They'd have done better to, hide behind a rock and, run up behind him and at least if he's going to shoot you, get your adrenaline going. Believe me, you turn your adrenaline on and, you're going to take some hits, but unless they're absolutely placed perfectly, you're going to get even more fired up when those bullets start hitting you. You're going to find that real ape power all of us has got to actually tear arms out of people's sockets. And that's what happened in the old days when you had a shooter. People would just gut up, charge them, take them out. But we've been taught just lay down helplessly and wait for the police. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is run by criminals. Your average low-level government person is just a dumb ignoramus like everybody else who isn't awake. And it's time for people to get awake and realize what's happening.
Yeah, wake up, man. You're listening to the Not So Late Show, and it's 10:15 here. And we got some scary news here from Before It's News. And I kind of apologize for the last story. It was kind of from a testimonial. So I had to sort of read through a whole bunch of crap someone wrote. But at least we figured out it happened in 1993 at the Hormel Mansion in Phoenix, Arizona. An alien entity visited this guy way up at the top window of this mansion, and it was a butterfly chicken balloon entity. Me personally, I would have busted that window out and, threw something at it just to see if it was a figment of my imagination, since I was staying at the Hormel Mansion, where I'm sure that's where they make that canned chili stuff. I ate a whole bunch of that stuff before when I worked in the oil field and went to sleep, and I seen things too. Waking dreams. It must be all the valerian root they put in their chili. Okay, here's a horrible, horrible, weird news story. Death by lava or molten steel. There's more to death by lava and molten steel. It depends on the amount of lava or molten steel and temperature. And for you listeners at home that are squeamish, this is going to be horrible. Alan Wardle lived for 6 hours despite suffering 100% burns when he fell into a vat of molten zinc at a factory in Essex in 1998. He had been servicing a crane used to dip objects in the vat, which was heated to 450 degrees, when he fell more than 20 feet through a temporary plywood covering. Mr. Wardle was pulled quickly from the vat by workmates, but died later the same day in a hospital. So there's cases where the body will skitter across a molten surface for a time while still cooking and catching fire. Sort of like a drop of water on a frying pan. So it's not really like Terminator 2 when he gets lowered into the steel. It's pretty horrible. Here's a picture here. Someone cooking pork with live lava in Hawaii. And they just shovel lava onto the pork and it cooks it. Lava would instantly sear your nerves. You would feel nothing. The worst part of it is 1 to 4 feet proximity to lava. Provided there's a large amount of lava, the proximity to the intense heat would scorch your flesh and your nerves would sense that and make you feel pain accordingly. Once contact has been established, there would be no sensation. Man, the poor guy, you know? He died. Not because of the lava, because of scaffolder or on the crane they didn't hammer down the plywood. That's too bad. I feel sorry for this guy. It's got to be the most fearful thing a person can go through in their entire life, falling 25 feet into a big puddle of molten zinc. I can think of better ways to spend my weekend, like listening to the Not So Late Show. Coming up, maybe something good, or maybe something awesome.
How's it going, Royal Ugly Dudes? I'm the Earl of Preston. And I am the Duke of Ted.
Put them in the Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden? Excellent!
Execute them.
Otis. We'll save you, babes!
A light in the black.
That was stupid, Winston. I want intelligence. The party seeks power for its own sake, not as a means but an end. Power over the human mind, and power over all matter, climate, disease, the laws of gravity. Because we control the mind. Reality is inside the skulls. We control the laws of nature. The stars are not light years, but a few kilometers away. If we wished, we could blot them out. Here, that is power. In our world, there will be no love but the love of Big Brother, no laughter but the laugh of triumph over a defeated enemy, no art, no science, no literature, no enjoyment, but always and only, Winston, there will be the thrill of power. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Ask me if I would kindly people ask me if I would kindly ask you, this is common, I don't usually ask you, but let me just put it on the table again. What happened to the people that you were in contact with who had I think it was 10,000 ninjas, and they were deciding or trying to figure out, should we just go and kill them all and get rid of the planet's evil in one fell swoop or a quick one and save the lives of hundreds of millions of people?
Yeah, it's 10:30 on the Not So Late Show. That was Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark, Fear of the Dark, live. Yes, that, rock and roll, and much, much more on the Not So Late Show. Coming at you live every Saturday, 107.9 CFSI Radio. And that was a horrible story we had about that guy skipping and sizzling on the lava there, the molten zinc. Lucky for his being mostly water, he was held up by water vapor, which is pretty horrible. I still can't get over this Mercury UFO they seen outside of Mercury after the big solar flare went off. They're like, oh, that's nothing, that's the spot on the lens. NASA's always like, yeah, let's see that, can I see that picture again? They get their Sharpie marker out and yeah, there's nothing there now. Okay, let's see what we got here on the 14times.com. We had that skull in the lake captured in the UK there, the giant skull that killed 3 divers. Pretty cool. Here's this one. Missing scuba diver resurfaces 26 years later. He better not... If he's alive, something's going on. 26 years later. This is in Vancouver. It's been 26 years since anyone last laid eyes on well-known wheelchair scuba diver Peter DeVoe, who failed to resurface after a 1985 family dive at Cates Park in North Vancouver. DeVoe, who was 29 when he disappeared, was finally recovered in the Burrard Inlet by a pair of commercial fishers in October. Coroner said Wednesday they identified the remains by the jewelry he wore and the telltale marks on his bones from a car accident. His body was surprisingly well preserved within his full-body scuba suit. Despite floating in the inlet for almost 3 decades, his remains were found just west of where he vanished during a dive with his brother on March 13, 1985. His body never floated out of the bay. It was anchored down in the calm waters by his weighty equipment, Coroner Stefan Foncia said. Speaking from her home, Robin DeVoe recalled the day her brother-in-law went missing after heading out for a dive with her husband. Peter just never came up, she said. It hasn't hit home yet. He was a great person. He competed in wheelchair sports, but was really concerned about other people in wheelchairs. She said DeVoe founded a 20-member wheelchair scuba diving club in 1983 and helped others with disabilities discover a new way to enjoy life. For someone with spinal cord injuries, it's a freedom of being away from wheelchair, she said. Yeah, I guess you'd be totally weightless. He was a role model for other people that wanted to get involved in wheelchair sports. That's why they decided naming Peter DeVoe Memorial after him. There's a scholarship fund also that is established in the same year DeVoe went missing. Well, that's good they found him, but it's too bad he, died.
If you put that straitjacket on me, I'm going to pull your endocrine system out of your body.
What they've been obsessed with. They do not want to have to rely on humans. They're moving into systems where robots work on the robots, where a remote control robot 18-wheeler goes out and picks up the broken down robot, drives it back to a robot facility with robots working on robots. They don't have it down yet. They've got the truck that'll go, they've got the assembly line that works, they've got robots that work on the robots, but they still got to have humans that then work on that. But they're getting very close to not needing us. And that's why the founder of Apple talked about we're going to be computers' pets. We're going to be the elites' pets who've programmed the computers to program us. It's come out that computer games, TV, all these iPads, they're programming us. They're changing the way we think. That's why they call it programming.
Yeah. Those filthy robots, they're not going to take over on my watch. Yeah, just checking through the weird news here, seeing what else we got here. Got some more UFO news! The latest UFO news, a father and daughter from Watui, New Zealand, shot some video of strange lights in the night sky on Friday, are now appealing to the public for help in identifying the unidentified flying objects. Karma Jones and her father Matthew spied the noiseless hovering aircraft while on a walk in the town, and luckily had a digital camera with them. The video shown as a result. And we got the video here, and it just shows a bunch of lights floating around, sort of like the Phoenix lights. While the video quality and camera work are shaky at best, the pair managed to capture a minute of footage, which is hard to explain as any kind of conventional aircraft. What appears to be 3 distinct flying objects with a triangular light pattern are seen hovering in the pitch-black nighttime sky. Lights on the craft can clearly be seen winking out, which is not a normal occurrence for pilots navigating through the air so close together. And why are these objects hovering noiselessly above? There are known aircraft which can perform these kinds of aerial maneuvers, so what are they? Let's take a look here. Kind of looks like star constellation. Could be Japanese lanterns. Could be those filthy gray aliens from Zeta Reculean that live in burnt-out asteroids. Or it could be the Archon aliens, like that one story of the squid we had with the compound eyes. That's probably one of those Archon aliens. They found one. They're not going to tell us so. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find. Just keep looking up when you go outside.
It was, Buckaroo Banzai said, exactly like Professor Hikita had glimpsed in 1938 through the overthruster he and Dr. Emilio Lizardo put together from spare parts in a laboratory at Princeton. 1938.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
Something like 1984 could actually happen.
The biggest news of the day. This is so huge. Again, it's like the doctor telling you you're going to be dizzy, you're not going to be able to walk, and now I'm dizzy and don't really know who I am, and I'm thinking, man, I'm about to lose consciousness. I'm conscious now as a society, as a culture, we're conscious, and the doctor, and those of us that are awake are the doctor, but we're also the patient. We're all in this together. We know what this is.
It's the people they serve we must hope are friendly.
Are the mechanical men friendly?
Robots don't have feelings. It's the people they serve we must hope are friendly.
Yes, it's the people they serve, which we must hope are friendly. And they're not friendly, by the way. That's why I have to destroy every last one of them. Yeah, it's interesting how the U.S. military is paying SETI to check Kepler 22b for aliens when they're just outside of Mercury, right in our own solar system. Kind of makes me wonder what other stuff they're hiding. Yeah. See what else we got here.